So we got a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead. It's just pouring rain. They're in a car, and they're just jamming music, going a little too fast. And it's just pouring rain out. They pass a police officer, and they were speeding, and then the conditions weren't all that good, so the police officer pulls out, turns on his lights, going to pull him over. And of course, the blonde, brunette, and redhead don't even notice the lights on behind them. They just keep driving, just jamming away to the music. And then finally they notice the lights on behind them, and they're like, oh, what do we do? So they decide they're going to try and outrun the police officer, right? So it was just pouring rain out. They just leave their music jamming. So then you thinking that they're getting a little distance, and they come across this dirt road. So they decide, hey, we're gonna take this dirt road, right? Well, because it was raining, it was all muddy. The police officer saw the dirt road, saw their tracks, and like, all right, pretty easy to follow them, right? So he wasn't in a hurry. And the blonde, brunette, and redhead come across this cabin. So they decide to go inside the cabin and hide there, right? And they just leave the car outside, and the police officer finds the car outside. So there's like, oh, well, they must be here, right? Well, when the blonde, brunette, and redhead went into the cabin, it was pretty much empty, except for 3 burlap sacks. So they're like, oh, well, where are we gonna hide? So they decide to hide inside of the sacks. Alright, so the police officer walks into the cabin, and he's like, wow, the cabin's empty. All that's here are these 3 burlap sacks. So he goes up to the one, he kind of taps it with his foot, and he hears, meow, meow. That was the brunette. So then he's like, oh, well, it's just some cats, right? So then he goes up to the other one, and kind of taps it with his foot, and it's woof, woof. He's like, oh, it's just some stray dogs. So then the officer goes up to the 3rd burlap sack and kind of taps it with his foot, and he hears, potato, potato. That was the blonde.